Welcome to part two of the edited version of Richard Dawkins' interview with Wendy Wright, with me, the jurist, substituting for Wendy Wright. Now let's get to the interview.
If you look at the DNA of all animals and all plants, what you find is a beautifully arranged hierarchy. You find that our DNA is close to chimpanzees, slightly more distant from monkeys, slightly more distant still from rats, slightly more distant still from lizards. The whole thing falls into a beautiful hierarchical pattern, just like a family tree. It is a family tree. How would you explain that?
I would respond to it by saying it doesn't form a perfect hierarchical pattern. That was your belief that it would, but it doesn't. In 2009, an article published in the New Scientist magazine, Darwin was wrong. In a massive study of the genomes comparing all of the animal groups with humans, it showed that there is no tree of life. In fact, it's more of a web of life. Here's what they found. An elephant shrew is closer to an elephant than to other shrews. Horse DNA is closer to a bat than it is to a cow. Mouse DNA is the same as 80% of the human genome. Sponges share 70% of the human genes, including those for nerves and muscles. Kangaroo DNA unexpectedly contains huge chunks of the human genome. Gorilla DNA is closer to humans than chimps in 15% of the genome. Neanderthal DNA is fully human, closer than a chimp is to a chimp. Richard, I have already told you about the paper published in the journal Nature in which team leader David Page of the Whitehead Institute for Biomedical Research said the human and chimp Y chromosomes are horrendously different from each other. The chimp has only 66% of the genes that we do, codes for only half the proteins ours does, has 30% of the entire Y that can't be aligned to our Y, and the human Y has 30% that doesn't align up to the chimp's. So with all that modern science contradicting your theory, what do you have against science? Do you have some sort of agenda? What's the issue? That concludes part two of the Dawkins interview.